welcome to another episode of Fairy Tale Friday. Today's story is called My Little Pony, Friendship Isn't Real Because All Friends Stab You in the Back and you in the Ass. Once upon a time, there was a magical land called Equestria. Equestria was home to a bunch of cartoon ponies who were all bonded by the unfortunate coincidence that they all had vaguely disturbing names. The leader of the ponies was named Twilight Diddle. Her friends were Applefap, Slutterfly, Rainbow Gash, Skanky Pie, and Gonorrhea. Yeah, the last one had it pretty rough. The ponies didn't do themselves any favors either, collectively making some pretty bad decisions and earning themselves an unsavory reputation. For example, they all went out and got tattoos together. On their asses. I mean, really, how trashy can you be? Talk about a nag tag. Am I right? What no one really understood was that these lapses of judgment were really just acts of rebellion. The ponies all felt like something was missing from their lives, like their lives were very two-dimensional. And they were right. Literally, their pastel paradise was little more than a flash animated series of vector-based drawings cooked up in some sweatshop in China. The ponies desperately wanted to be real ponies. One day, while huffing glue behind the barn, because f*** it, why not, they met a snake. The snake promised to open a portal to the real world in exchange for a shoe from each of the girls. Naturally, they were all delighted and gave the snake a shoe. Except for Skanky Pie. She was miffed because her shoes were Christian Louboutin, and she didn't want to give them up. So the ponies abandoned Skanky Pie because she was a stuck-up priss. "We never really liked you anyway. We just kept you around to make fun of you," said the rest of the ponies. The snake opened up a portal, and the ponies jumped through. Suddenly, they found themselves in a strange new world. They didn't realize it at the time, but they were in a New York subway car. Of course, there was some asshole listening to terrible music on the highest possible volume on his phone. Rainbow Gash was pretty sure the guy next to her had crapped his pants, and there was a kid licking the support rails. In short, it was a typical day on the N line in Manhattan. At the next stop, the girls tried frantically to get out of the train, but the dipshits in front of the door made no effort to get out of their way, so Applefap got left behind. She was never seen or heard from again. When the ponies finally made their way out of the subway, they found themselves at a convention center, and they couldn't believe their stupid little eyes. It was BronyCon. Everybody was dressed up as them! Full-grown men dressed up as little girl ponies. Imagine how uncomfortable the ponies felt. But nothing could prepare them for what came next. That's right, Rule 34. If they were uncomfortable before, imagine how they felt when they realized their entire lives were being watched by these pervs. But Chloe, not all bronies are cloppers. You bronies will yell at your computer screen while watching this. And to you I say this, it only takes one bad apple to ruin the bushel. The ponies had to get out of there fast. Twilight Diddle, Slutterfly, and Rainbow Gash knew there was only one way to get out. They pushed Gonorrhea into the crowd of bronies and took off. What became of her is best left untold. It didn't matter in the end, though. The remaining ponies were taken to a corral in Montana, where a new stallion would rut with them each day until they were all used up. Then they were taken away and turned into glue. Come back next time and you'll hear the classic children's story of one fish, two fish, eat shit, and die bitch. So Romeo ran away and came back in the middle of the night to Juliet's balcony. This is when she famously asked, "Wherefore art thou, Romeo?" Little did she know this would later become a question on OkCupid to weed out idiots.